Welcome back, and today we're going to talk about product of array except self. So that's another NeetCode problem, and we need to understand the problem first. So we have this in this problem. We're given an integer, array integers called nums, and we should return an array of answers, such that set answer at index I is equal to the product of all elements except that specific number. So let's look at examples so we can better understand. For example, we have this one. We want the value of multiplication of every other number other than this one. So we need to have 2 times 3 times 4 and we return it at that specific index as 24. And for example, for this 2, we want to have the multiplication of other numbers that's not 2 at that specific index. So basically we have 1, 3 and 4. Those are 12. This one should be 12 at the second position here at index 1. For this 3 we need to have multiplication of this part along with multiplication of that part. 2 times 4 equals 8 at this position. And fourth, we don't have a postfix but we have a prefix, so it's 3 times 2 equals 6. Alright, so this algorithm needs to run in O of n time complexity without using division operation. So if it was division, that would be probably so easy, but since it's not allowed, then we need to figure something out. So let's visualize what this problem looks like so we can solve it. Alright, so let's begin our presentation. So we have this input and output should be look like this one. So let's visualize how it's gonna look like. We have two parts, prefix and postfix. Prefix is the left side or in the lower indices than the current index. So for example, if we're at current index 2 right now, then the prefix is just 1 and the postfix is 3 times 4. So we have, in our first case, we have the prefix is empty, but postfix we have 3 values that need to be multiplied by each other. If we go to other direction, like at this position 2, we have 1 and the other 2 parts on the left side. So the green part is just the postfix and orange part is the prefix. So we just keep doing this multiplication to find the specific value. So for example, this 4, if we multiply the prefix by postfix, since we don't have postfix, we don't multiply, it's gonna be returning 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6 at this one. Alright, so basically that's the solution to our problem, but how can we solve this problem in code? So we can use some math operation using this prefix and postfix as well. So let's try it. So I will just pop up, so because we are gonna need a lot of modification here, so I'm just gonna make some modification here. So let's begin. I'm just gonna remove all those animations so we don't look annoyed. Alright, so at the very beginning we're gonna iterate through our array to find the prefix and of each value. And when we find the whole array of number, we were gonna iterate backward to find the postfix with multiplication to the existing prefixes. This will result in the correct output, and we will figure out how step by step. So now we have 1. The prefix default value would be start with 1, and we're gonna start by iterating to find the prefix values. So we have our first index, we have value of 1, so the value of 1 with a prefix of 1, so multiply 1 by 1, it's just gonna be 1. So that's just simple as that. So now we have a prefix of 1, and it didn't really update since we need to multiply the old prefix with the current value to have the new prefix for the next input, which is 2. So now 1 times the existing prefix, which is 1, it's going to be called 1. So now we're at the index 1 at position 2. Now we need to find the prefix of this current element. We already have a prefix of 1, so we're just going to add this 1 here, and after adding the prefix we will multiply it by the current value to find the prefix of the next element. So the prefix at this moment is going to be 1 times 2, which is going to be 2. Now we're at position 3, which is index 2 right now, and we want the prefix of that number, so we have already 2. This 2 is going to be put here, and now we need to have a newer prefix for the next value, which is 4. So we'll just multiply 2 by 3, which is gonna be 6. Alright, so it's gonna be this one. So now we're gonna go here. We have at value 4, we want to find the prefix, which is 6. So add this prefix, and now we need to update the prefix to have the next number, but since it's the last one we wouldn't really care about the result, but we needed to do it anyway. So it's gonna be 6 times 4 is 24. Alright, that's for the prefix part. Now we have finished our prefix, we don't really care about this anymore. We're gonna start by postfix. We need to go backward now. We're also gonna start by 1. So let's see. 1 here is gonna be 1 times the, it's not 1 times, I'm sorry, what's the postfix of our current value 4? Since it's the beginning 1, so we're gonna just take this one and multiply by its existing prefix, because that's a prefix already. So we're gonna multiply the postfix with the prefix, with the existing prefix. So 1 times 6 is just 6. We will not update it, but we need to update this postfix. So this postfix was 1, we need to multiply it by this current value, so it's become 4. Alright, so now the postfix of these 3 is 4. We want to add it in this action, but since it's a prefix we need to multiply, so 2 times 4 is 8. And now we need to find the postfix for the next, which is in our case 2, next value. So we need to 4 times multiply by 3 to find its value of 2. So 4 times 3 is just gonna be 12. And now we go to the next value, which is 2, and we already have a postfix of 12. We need to add it in this position. 12 times 1 is gonna be 12. Now we need to update the postfix so it can be the postfix of the next value, which is 1. So 12 times 2 is 24. So let's update it by making it 24. Alright, so now we're at the last value, which is 1. We want to update its old prefix by multiplying it with the current postfix, which is 24. So now 24 times 1 is 24, and we need to update the postfix for the next value, and we don't have next value, but we need to update it anyway. So 24 times 1 is gonna give us 24. So if you have looked at this approach, 24, 12, 8, 6, which is exactly like this one. So that's how can we solve this problem as a visualization, and we will write that next in code.